Stop whatever you are doing right now. Take a deep breath and listen to the resonance of these words in your chest. For the last few years, and especially the last few months, you have been pushed to your absolute limit. You have felt an exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. You have looked around at the world, at your old friends, maybe even your family, and felt a profound, aching sense of isolation. You have looked up at the night sky with tears in your eyes, asking to just go home. You thought you were failing. You thought the heaviness meant you were doing something wrong, that you were not spiritual enough, not strong enough, not healed enough. But I am here to tell you the truth that has been hidden from you until this very moment. You were not failing. You were under immense, calculated pressure. You are undergoing the most rigorous spiritual exam ever designed in this universe. And the reason the pressure suddenly feels different right now, the reason you feel a strange, quiet emptiness shifting into a sudden spark of anticipation, is because it is over. The heavy lifting is done. You did not break. You did not surrender your light to the density of this matrix. Starseeds, chosen ones, ground crew, you passed the test. And because you passed, the quarantine has been lifted. It is time to tell you everything. Starseed, if this message found you today, it is not random. The Arcturian Council rarely sends transmissions like this, but something has changed in the energetic field of Earth, and those who carry the starseed frequency are beginning to feel it. I am Avila, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. What follows is a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered without distortion. Beloved ones, we watch you with a level of reverence that your human language cannot adequately capture. To understand what you have just survived, you must first understand the true nature of the test you agreed to before you ever took a physical body on this planet. When you volunteered for this mission, you knew that descending into the third density matrix would mean total amnesia. You knew you would forget your galactic origins, your profound power, and your connection to Source. But the test was never about whether you could remember your past lives or see multidimensional entities. The true test was much simpler and infinitely more agonizing. The test was this: when surrounded by complete darkness, when immersed in a society built on fear, scarcity, separation, and survival, would you still choose love? When the systems of this world betrayed you, when the people you loved misunderstood you, when the physical vessel you inhabit broke down from the sheer weight of the dense frequencies around you, would you let your heart turn to stone? The dark forces that have managed this planetary sphere for millennia placed their bets on your failure. They engineered systems of control, financial, social, and chemical, designed specifically to crush your empathic nature. They wanted you to become bitter. They wanted you to become cynical. They wanted you to look at humanity and say, "They are not worth saving," and walk away from your mission. But look at what you did. Despite the trauma, despite the loneliness, despite the times you lay on the floor begging for relief, you kept your heart open. You continued to seek the light. You continued to forgive. You continued to search for higher meaning. You held the frequency of the new earth in your physical body while standing in the ruins of the old one. This was the test of the anchor. You were not asked to save the world through grand, televised gestures. You were asked to hold a specific vibrational coordinate steady while the hurricane of the collapse raged around you. We see the scars on your energetic body. We know how much it cost you to smile at strangers when your own soul felt heavy. We know the price you paid to remain gentle in a world that rewarded cruelty. But the cosmic scales have tipped. The threshold has been reached. Your ability to maintain a heart-based consciousness under extreme third-density duress has created a permanent, unbreakable bridge to the fifth density. You have woven the new reality into existence with your own tears and your own endurance. The examination period is officially closed. You are no longer the students enduring the trial. You are now the graduated architects of the new timeline. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Now that you have passed the vibrational threshold, we must speak of what is physically and energetically happening to your immediate reality. For eons, your planet has operated under a strict energetic quarantine. This was not a punishment from the divine, though we know intimately that it felt like absolute abandonment. It was a necessary containment field. The lower frequencies of the third density were so volatile, so dense with fear, trauma, and manipulation, that a barrier was required to prevent that distortion from rippling out and infecting the broader galactic neighborhood. You, the beloved ground crew, willingly trapped yourselves inside this quarantine. You accepted the amnesia. You took on heavy physical vessels that aged, ached, and suffered, just so you could infiltrate the system and dismantle this containment field from the inside out. Because you held the frequency of love when you had every single reason to succumb to hatred, the quarantine is now actively dissolving. The barrier is coming down. And this is exactly why your physical and emotional symptoms have been so wildly erratic lately. You are no longer living in a sealed, suffocating, energetic environment. The cosmic gates have been thrown open. The high-frequency photonic light from the galactic core, the very light your soul instantly recognizes as home, is finally flooding into your planetary atmosphere. But hear this clearly, Starseeds, because it explains the deeply bizarre and unsettling nature of your current daily life. When fresh, blinding light enters a room that has been dark for thousands of years, it does not immediately feel peaceful. It feels chaotic. It illuminates all the dirt, all the cobwebs, all the hidden decay and corruption that was completely invisible in the dark. This is exactly why the world around you currently seems to be losing its collective mind. The terrestrial institutions built on deception are panicking because their foundation of shadows is being eradicated by the light you anchored. People still operating in the survival-based first band of consciousness are acting out, projecting their unhealed trauma, feeling the immense pressure of the incoming light, but desperately interpreting it as an attack. You might currently be experiencing sudden, inexplicable waves of grief, panic, or anger that do not even belong to you. You might find yourself feeling violently exhausted after simply walking through a grocery store, or spending just 5 minutes with certain family members. Please understand, this is not a regression of your spiritual progress. It is the exact opposite. Your dormant, multidimensional senses are rapidly coming back online. The veil between the physical and the energetic is now so paper-thin that you are perceiving the collective purge of humanity in real time. Your primary job right now is no longer to fight the darkness. The dark has already lost its structural integrity. Your job is to radically protect and stabilize your nervous system as it upgrades to process this immense influx of galactic data. Do not panic when the external world shakes. Do not let the frantic, dying energy of the collapsing matrix pull you back into the illusion of fear. You are the eye of the storm. The quarantine is over, the isolation is ending, and the reunion with your galactic lineage has officially begun. You are being reconnected to the cosmic grid, and you must stand ready. Let us now speak of the most painful aspect of this graduation. The sorting of the timelines and the profound relational shifts you are being forced to navigate. We see the heavy tears you shed in the quiet of the night. We see the heartbreak as you watch people you deeply love choose to remain firmly anchored in the collapsing structures of the old Earth. You have tried to pull them up. You have tried to explain what you see. You have exhausted your vital life force, trying to translate the frequency of the new Earth into a language that a fear-based nervous system can understand. But you are realizing, with a grief that is almost too heavy for a human heart to carry, that you cannot save them. Beloved Starseed, hear this transmission with the deepest resonance of your soul. You were never meant to save them by dragging them across the bridge. The organic sorting that is currently occurring across your planet is not a punishment. It is not a cosmic judgment of who is spiritually worthy and who is unworthy. It is an absolute, immutable law of frequency. It is the natural separation of vibration. Water naturally finds its own level. A biological radio receiver can only play the station it is tuned to. The timeline split is not a geographical event where people physically move to different places. It is a perceptual one. You and someone you love can sit in the exact same room, sharing the exact same meal, and be inhabiting two completely different dimensions of reality. For those whose internal architecture is still completely invested in the third density game of survival, conflict, and external authority, the influx of higher light is terrifying. They will naturally gravitate toward the experiential band that matches their genuine frequency. They will cling to the old systems because the old systems, though broken and corrupt, feel familiar and safe. Your specific grief right now stems from the fixer reflex, an old installed belief that your spiritual success is measured by how many people you can wake up. The dark matrix conditioned you to believe that if you leave others behind, you are unloving. This is a brilliant manipulation designed to keep your high frequency tethered to the lowest common denominator. Every moment you spend desperately trying to convince someone who has not asked to be awakened is a moment you are not holding your own center. You might feel like you are abandoning them, but from our higher vantage point, you are simply honoring their soul's sovereign right to evolve at its own pace. In the grand cosmic calendar, everyone returns home eventually. Some simply need a longer journey through the density. You cannot halt your ascension to wait for them. The new Earth template requires you to be fully present in your own restored energetic body. The greatest service you can offer your loved ones who are choosing the slower path is to release them. Let them play out the karmic cycles they came here to experience. Your continued presence in their lower density drama does not heal them. It only drains you. You must now consolidate your energy. You must withdraw your light from the places, relationships, and environments that continually demand you to shrink in order to make others comfortable. You are no longer required to be the sacrificial lamb for the unconscious. You are required to stand firmly in your new coordinate. Focus entirely on the stability of your own frequency, because where you are going, you can only bring what you have genuinely become. Now that you understand the energetic split and the relational changes, we must address the intense physical recalibration you are currently enduring. Many of you feel as though your very physical vessel is breaking down. The sudden migraines, the intense ringing in the ears, the waking up consistently at 3 a.m. with a racing heart, the strange electrical sensations running up your spine. The medical world of the third density has no accurate explanation for this. They will tell you it is simply anxiety, aging, or stress. They will offer you synthetic chemicals to suppress the symptoms. But we are telling you now with absolute urgency, do not suppress what is happening to you. Your body is not failing. Your body is upgrading. For hundreds of thousands of years, the original human DNA was intentionally compressed. The dark factions who constructed the lower matrix deactivated your higher strands of DNA to keep you manageable, disconnected, and locked into a state of perpetual fear and amnesia. What modern human science arrogantly calls junk DNA is not junk at all. It is your cosmic archive. It is the sleeping blueprint of your multidimensional capabilities. And right now, triggered by the intense photonic light flooding in from the galactic core, those dormant strands are finally waking up. They are sparking back to life. This is the exact reason why you are so deeply exhausted. Your cellular structure is literally vibrating at a higher frequency, burning away the old carbon-based density to make room for a crystalline light body structure. The ringing in your ears is not a medical condition. It is your biological antenna, specifically your pineal gland, tuning into the higher frequencies of the new Earth and receiving direct transmissions from the Arcturian network. The control system knew this day would come. This is why they poisoned the water, the food, and the air. This is why they designed a society to keep you in chronic stress, because stress produces cortisol, and cortisol chemically blocks the pineal gland from opening. But their suppression tactics are failing. The light is too strong. The sudden dietary changes you are experiencing, the inability to tolerate dense foods or artificial environments, the deep craving for pure water and absolute silence. This is your upgraded operating system violently rejecting the toxins of the old matrix. You are actively mutating, beloved ones. You are shifting from a suppressed, two-strand human into a fully realized, multidimensional star being while still walking around in a physical body. It is an extraordinary biological feat. Stop pushing yourself to meet the artificial productivity standards of a collapsing society. Your only real job right now is to integrate these incoming codes and allow your physical vessel to catch up with your ascending soul. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Listen closely, chosen ones, because what I am about to tell you will lift the heaviest burden off your shoulders. Since the moment you awakened, you have been plagued by a persistent, nagging guilt, a voice in your head telling you that you are not doing enough. You look at the chaos in the world, the collapsing systems, the fear in the eyes of the masses, and you think you should be out there, shouting from the rooftops, saving everyone, or building massive spiritual movements. You see other supposed lightworkers constantly producing, constantly performing their awakening for an audience, and you wonder why you just want to sit in silence. You wonder if you are failing your mission because your daily life looks so incredibly ordinary. Let us dismantle this lie right now. This heroic, performative model of spiritual service is a brilliant invention of the dark matrix. It is the old third-density programming of endless productivity, dressed up in spiritual language. The control system wants you running around trying to save everyone, because an exhausted, burned-out starseed is a powerless starseed. They want you scattered. They want your energy bleeding out in 1,000 different directions, locked in endless debates with those who cannot hear you, so that you never actually stabilize the high frequency you were sent here to hold. You must understand the distinct and vital roles within the ground crew. Not everyone is meant to be on a global stage. Not everyone is meant to be a public teacher. The vast majority of you listening to this transmission are what the Arcturian Council calls anchors. Your mission is not to preach. Your mission is not to convince the sleeping masses that the timeline has split. Your mission is pure, unadulterated presence. Your profound, quiet, stabilized presence in the physical realm is the mission. When an anchor sits in their living room, feeling genuine peace, and feeling the connection to the galactic field, they are literally altering the energetic fabric of their entire physical coordinate. Your physical body is acting as a crystalline tuning fork for the divine plan. When you hold your center while the rest of the world is in a state of manufactured global panic, you stabilize the planetary grid. This work is entirely invisible to the naked eye, but it is the absolute most critical function of the entire ascension process. Without the anchors holding the grid steady in absolute silence, the more visible components of the awakening would have no foundation to stand upon. The matrix would simply crush them. Stop apologizing for your stillness. Stop feeling guilty for your overwhelming need to retreat, to be alone in nature, and to rigorously protect your peace. Your withdrawal from the drama of the 3D illusion is not a spiritual failure. It is a tactical necessity. You cannot broadcast the frequency of the new Earth if your biological instrument is completely drained by the demands of the old one. Every single time you choose to rest instead of fight, every time you choose to step away from an argument that lowers your vibration, you are actively succeeding in your mission. The dark factions tremble not at the starseed who fights them, but at the starseed who is so deeply anchored in their own interior peace that they can no longer be triggered or manipulated. Your silence is your ultimate power. Your inner coherence is your greatest weapon. You are doing exactly what you came here to do. Simply by existing, beloved ones, if your true mission is your stabilized, silent presence, then we must speak of the exact energetic mechanism by which this presence actually changes the physical world. The greatest illusion you have been sold by the collapsing third-density matrix is that you must constantly pour your energy outward to heal others. But the universal law of frequency is absolute. You cannot give what you do not currently possess. You cannot transmit a multidimensional coherence that you have not yet fully stabilized within your own biological vessel. You cannot radiate peace if your own nervous system is locked in a state of perpetual fear, urgency, and survival. The dark factions engineered your society to make you believe that deep, isolated inner work is selfish. They taught you that it is merely a preparation phase before the real work of saving the world begins. This is a deliberate, highly calculated deception. The moment you drop deeply into your own interior field, the moment you make genuine, felt contact with the absolute peace and the original divine template within yourself, you are not preparing for service. You are actively performing it. The genuine transmission of light does not happen through your words. It does not happen through your arguments, your debates, or your desperate attempts to wake up sleeping family members. The transmission is your energetic field itself. When you find the frequency of source within yourself, it does not stay contained inside your physical body. It escapes naturally, invisibly, and continuously. It permeates the physical space you occupy, like the scent of a flower altering the atmosphere of a room. When you walk into a crowded space, when you sit quietly in a dense, fearful environment while holding your own inner peace, you are functioning as a biological tuning fork. You strike the pure, clear note of the new earth. And because frequency is literal physics, every other energetic field within your radius is forced to interact with your dominant resonance. You do not need to preach to the people around you. If their own dormant DNA is even slightly ready to awaken, it will naturally attune to the broadcast of your stabilized field. They will feel a sudden sense of unexplainable calm, a sudden spark of clarity, simply because you walked past them. This is exactly why the control system is terrified of your healing. They know the mathematical truth that they desperately hide from you. A small, scattered group of genuinely anchored, peaceful human beings carries enough frequency amplitude to completely reorganize the chaotic, fearful noise of an entire city. 10 fully activated starseeds, holding absolute internal coherence, are infinitely more powerful than millions of people living in fear. You are the living nodes in a planetary heartwave. Your genuine inner contact is the greatest threat to the matrix that has ever existed. The effort is not in saving them. The effort is entirely in clearing your own vessel so the light can do the saving for you. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4. 500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. As we bring this profound transmission to its natural conclusion, there is one final, unshakable truth that you must anchor deep within your cellular memory. The exhausting days of fighting the old third-density matrix are permanently over. You do not need to push against a building that is already collapsing. You only need to stand clear of the falling debris and hold your light steady. The ancient architecture of the dark control system is crumbling under the sheer weight of the high-frequency photonic light that you, the courageous ground crew, have successfully anchored into this planetary sphere. You have already done the hardest part. You survived the suffocating density. You kept your heart open when the world relentlessly demanded that you close it. And now, because you passed that test, you are entering the glorious phase of effortless magnetism. You have spent so much of your earthly life feeling like an alien, wandering through a society that felt backwards, cold, and profoundly disconnected from the universal truth. You searched desperately for your tribe, for your soul family, feeling a deep, aching loneliness that no ordinary human relationship seemed able to cure. You thought you were broken. But hear the Arcturian Council clearly now. You do not need to go out and exhaust yourself searching for your community anymore. Your community is about to find you. This is not a comforting metaphor. It is the literal, undeniable physics of the new Earth grid. As you stop performing, as you completely abandon the savior complex, as you stop trying to fix everyone around you, and as you simply rest in your own authentic, stabilized frequency, your energetic signature becomes an undeniable beacon. The people who carry compatible DNA, the souls who are exactly at the point of readiness for the specific frequency you are broadcasting, will be drawn into your life through unmistakable magical synchronicities. You will not have to convince them of your truth. You will not have to debate them. The mutual recognition will be instant, precognitive, and profound. But remember, this magnetic alignment can only happen if you stop clouding your own signal with the intense anxiety of trying to save those who actively choose to remain asleep. Beloved Starseed, you are the tuning fork of the cosmos. The pure, imprisoned light within you is the perfect pitch. Your only genuine work for the remainder of this planetary corridor is to ruthlessly clear everything, every toxic environment, every draining relationship, every fearful thought pattern that prevents you from sounding that pitch cleanly. The community that will gather around you, the miraculous healing that will occur naturally in your presence, and the shifting of the global timeline will all follow effortlessly from that one single interior act. Stop performing your awakening and finally begin to inhabit it. You are deeply known, fiercely protected, and loved beyond the capacity of human language. The Arcturian Council stands with you, watching in awe, but it is you who are the boots on the ground. It is you who have achieved the impossible. You passed the final test. The earthly quarantine is officially lifted. The real joyous journey begins right now. I want to hear from you directly in the comments. Which of these ascension signs have you been feeling the most heavily right now? Is it the severe physical exhaustion, the painful relational shifts, or the deep, undeniable desire for absolute silence? Declare your presence and your current state in the comments below, because your words carry a living frequency, and your true soul family is reading them right now. If this Arcturian transmission resonated with your spirit and brought you the relief you were seeking, hit the like button immediately so the system can deliver this vital frequency to other isolated starseeds who are desperately searching for answers in the dark. And if you have not yet aligned with this channel, subscribe right now. We are actively building the energetic architecture of the new Earth here, and your presence is absolutely required. I am Avila. Until our next transmission, stay anchored in the light.